Welcome to this overview presentation of the Liga GlobalID product. In the video, I'm going to explain how our Liga GlobalID product works and also show to you the big benefits you can get by implementing and use the product. Looking at the flow that we do inside GlobalID, how does it actually work from a user perspective? The very first thing is secure and verified identity enrollment. It goes from the source where the data comes, this source here. It can be an HR system, SAP, whatever system you have, we connect to that and we then read the data. It can be Active Directory, as I said, SAP. Then we go into a process of creation. This is the automatic onboarding. The user is a member of a group. Because of that group membership, we can trigger all the events now to happen. That's the logic of the rule engine. That's the logic of what our platform can do. It could be that you need a manual ID approval. It sometimes happens. You might have a passport. You might have some other regulation where that is required. We handle that. Then we come to the issue. This is, as I said, this is where we bring together the physical and the digital identity. It needs to be with self-service. It needs to include the eIDAS framework, so we're using the national eID validation services. This is the way we make sure that you as a person are correctly connected to your company account by leveraging the identity that you have as a citizen. Also, we have the user consent service. It can be many things, like the GDPR requires you to sign certain agreements, but typically there are certain things that you need to sign while onboarding. This is a service that we take care of. And finally, the two-factor token assignment, literally making sure that when you walk away from the initial onboarding, you are good to go. And this brings us straight to the next point, the use area. This is where you want to have a flexibility. Whether you want to use your phone, you want to have a token, you want to have a smart card. It's not necessarily quite clear what is the best thing in a given case. And we make sure that that is possible for you. Obviously, smart cards are very well working with Windows login. That's why we recommend using that technology, because it brings you the maximum security. We believe maximum security is a good thing. Finally, two-factor access for mobile clients. We have technology. We just show you a few screenshots of how that can work. We can bring that to bring your mobility requirements together with your physical requirements, as well as your regular infrastructure requirements. And lastly here, the review area is just set, ID validation history, event logging, when happened what, compliance reporting, give me a report that just give me the standard things. These are the basic things that I need to prove that this has happened. And of course, which I think for many organizations sometimes is an issue and it's a battle, is making sure that when people leaving your company, leaving your organization, their identities become revoked and it's become deactivated. So what is behind our platform? What is kind of inside this machinery? Look at it as a giant hub, like a big train station, where lots of traffic coming in and out, trains, people, buses, taxis, cars, people on bicycles, etc. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of activities coming in, things getting changed, adjusted, and leaving. That's what we do. This is what is happening inside the GlobalID platform. So here at the right side top, we have all the identity sources. This is from where the identities are originating. This is from where they come. We also have, as I said, the external eIDs. This is from where we validate the national eID or other eID systems that we can hook into. Obviously, many organizations prefer to have their own logging and CM systems. We can, of course, we can bring data to these kind of systems. Here on the right side, we have certificate authorities. We believe in PKI. We believe that that is a technology that today brings a lot of benefits. I know there will people being objecting to that. And we are aware of that and we understand that. But we also bring answers to why we still believe this is a good technology. This is something we worked with now for more than a decade here in Denmark. We've been working with the national infrastructure. We know how this can be done in a way where it works. For IDPs, this is kind of the modern era of firewalling. This is the identity firewalling, identity providers. This is what they do. They make sure when you connect and you want to access a given system, that IDP will validate and verify your travel, that journey, that digital journey from where you're sitting at your desk and all the way to the remote system. That's what the IDP is capable of, and that's why you need, and we do bring connection to that IDP. And finally, we also make sure that you probably would have standalone applications. A very common thing here is something named SMIME, email encryption. There are people that are not as much fan of it, and there are people that could just not live without it. We make sure that you can use an email encryption in your Outlook or another email application smoothly and easy with all what that requires. That's a part of what we do. It could be other applications as well, digital signing in PDF files, in your office packages, etc. There are many areas where you can benefit in the way that what we do, not just from the authentication point of view, but also safeguarding what you do with your identity in different ways. So what is inside kind of, in the box? I gave you an insight into the hub technology, the kind of this meta structure, but more practically, there are some various ways you use the system. From the administrative point of view, you have two UIs. We call them admin UI. This is for the kind of the machinery, the application itself, maintaining that the engine is doing what it's expecting to do. And then here on your left side, right side, you have the portal UI. This is where we maintain the activities that is connected to the single users. Potentially you can create a user. Sometimes that user comes from another source, that's what I just described, but it could also be that you want to do that manually. But the portal UI gives you the access to maintaining the devices, the certificates, the consents, all these things that the user is required to carry on. This is maintained in this portal. We even design the portals and the admin UI in ways where you have roles and rights access management, meaning that you can grant access to your auditor with a read-only access, for giving them saying, we like to verify and control what goes on, but they cannot make any changes. They can just go and pull out the reports that they like to see. For the end user, we have created multiple clients. We have a client, we have a kiosk client, a self-service kiosk that can literally be with a touch screen hanging on a wall in your main reception area, where you can go and get your requirements, and you can get these things that for your identity onboarding, you can get that done. It can be a password reset, it can be a new ID card, and it can be other services. We also have a desktop UI for the people that don't have access physically to where the kiosk is, so they would be probably prefer having the desktop application. Finally, we have a web UI also, and the thing here with these UIs is that they're depending on a hardware requirement. As a good example, if you want to print a ID card in the same batch as you issue and onboard your user, then you need a card printer. Obviously that is a hardware requirement, which would need you to go to the kiosk. While if you were onboarding it in a different methodology, you can use some of the other UIs depending on your hardware requirement. On your right side, we have the mobile UI. What you see here right now is the prototype. It's simple the way that we're using the notifications networks of the Apple and the Google to push a message to your phone, and with the phone you can then authenticate to the system. But we brought a little more to the phone than just sending a text and OTP token to the phone. No, we can use a smart card with the NFC interface on the phone. This brings us the maximum security. This brings us to the position where we can say if you authenticate using your phone via the network to a service, it is still rock solid secure. We believe that is very important. So, benefits. How does this enhance your IT environment? We bring leading security. Use the strongest authentication in the market and get rid of multiple cyber threats. I think it's quite clear what you obtain here using a good authentication. PIN is better than password. I think it's a big discussion in the cybersecurity world. What should we do? Why should you go one direction, another direction? There's no doubt Microsoft today recommend going passwordless. That's the heading. This is the direction. We can assist your organization in that transition. We can help you moving towards that world of passwordless. Because PIN is better than password. PIN is tied to the smart card. It is local and it is never transmitted over the network, and it do never need to change. So we can actually get rid of that, change your password every 3 months, having whatever the cat's name is, something, and I cannot remember. All of those things, we can get those away. We can solve that. Make your user's life more easy. Legal compliance. Achieve compliance with eIDAS, ISO, PSD2, GDPR, and other standards and rules. It's obvious, and it is required. We see that all across Europe, these requirements comes, and they will just come more and more in the next years. Integrating to IT infrastructure. I gave you a few hints to that. So we have tightly integration to other major systems. This is like Microsoft, Micro Focus, and other system providers and infrastructure providers. And finally, ease a difficult process in one solution. Integrate smart card, two-factor authentication tokens, ID validation, self-service in one big bang. So this is just for reminding and saying we have a product page. You can read that. You can go to our Vimeo video catalog, and you can go to the documentation of the product. These links will also be in the comment here under this video when you see that. So you can just scroll down to the text area and you will find the links there. And with all of that, I just have to say thank you, and we will welcome you back to another Liga video.